So, Ash, one of the big things that we saw just recently was a gizmo. So, can you kind of talk a little bit about the magic of the gizmo?
Yeah, so last week I mentioned that we were, for those who didn't see it, and just to refresh, like we're kind of moving towards focusing a little bit more on creators, while simultaneously trying to build out this PvP VE type game thing. And yeah, just as part of that effort was trying to make sure that we have the tools that creators need to get, more control over moving things around in the world and placing them where you need to. And one of those was adding the gizmo feature. Um, just on that, we did a full release yesterday or the day before, which has been a long time. It's been like 2.5 weeks. So we made a lot of changes there. One of which was the whole revamped UI system, which people might be starting to see now, as places like Hyperworld start updating worlds with that as well. Um, but yeah, gizmos. I mean, it's something that people have been wanting for a while because the default controls kind of let you move things around in the world at the pivot point. And for most things, it's actually really good and it's really fast to quickly just like move things around and build things. But obviously, when you're trying to like get real detailed with where you want something to be, you don't have that control. And so being able to switch to a gizmo, switch from grab mode over to a transform gizmo or a rotate gizmo, and you have more control over exactly where you want something to be, and obviously the snapping and stuff still works with that. So yeah, it's very similar to V1 controls for that stuff.
Yep, and I shared
If you're
just on
familiar with it,
screen
yeah.
as well, and I think yeah, it gives us the feeling of I like how you mentioned precise control. I feel like the the way it was before was just like if you're lucky, you'll get it placed where you want it to. It probably is more practice than maybe when I first started playing without the gizmo. But now with the gizmo, we're going to be able to, like you say, give precise control over it and get a feel. I guess I'm visual. That could be the thing is I'm very visual about okay, let me get this exactly that way.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons that one of the problems with us trying to do the gizmo so early was that we had this kind of like we're trying to make a builder like so that it was simple and easy to use for anyone. And when you start thinking about gizmos, it's like, are you trying to like almost rebuild Blender inside of this thing when Blender can do all that for you? But yeah, it
Yes.
was like the concept, like the things going around that people were saying were basically that we should have both air grab, like the current default mode, and then being able to switch to full gizmo mode. And it was just kind of waiting for the right time to find the way to make those two things work together without trying to make it too complicated. And I think we landed on something pretty good. Like you start in grab mode and then you can switch between grab mode, transform mode, and rotate mode with one, two, and three. And it's like you can just quickly switch back to one or the other. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, obviously, always listening for feedback if we need to improve that, and it will probably change again with any other issues and like improvements and things that people suggest.
Yep. Appreciate that. And so, besides the little gizmo escapade that you had to go on to get that up and running, I noticed the other day you had pets. Is could you explain what that like how you got? It's not a VRM, so how is that like a different standard for like a four-legged creature? Let me see if I could
Yeah,
pull up
so
the.
up until now, we basically had 3D model support with GRBs. And you could script all those things to move, but you couldn't have like bone animations and things like that. The only bone animations, like armatures and stuff that we had, were avatars, and those had emotes attached to them. But now we've made it so that you can import skinned meshes, like so an armature from Blender, and it will bring in the animations that you've put in there as well. And so now you can do all that. We had sorry, we had the the raptor that you might have seen running around in some videos. That was actually a VRM which was somehow
Yeah.
re-rigged to work as a two-legged creature type thing. And it was pretty convincing, but obviously there are certain things that you just want way more control over. And so this is what that basically gives you. So you can rig any type of skeleton you want in Blender, create your own animations and add them to that, and then bring it into the world. And then right now you have to use script to control them, but like V1 will have apps that let you like switch between different animations and play them and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So is this skinned mesh thing different from the GLB animations, or is this the GLB animation?
This is GLB animations.
Yeah.
There's two things in GLB animations. There's skin meshes, which is moving bones, which is GPU accelerated. The other is animations in GLBs that just move objects in the GLB. That'll come eventually as well. But for now, that just kind of needs to be scripted.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then on the video, hopefully you can see the screen share is Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so, yeah, this is just showing your thousands of pets.
I wasn't, when I was doing this, I was like, yeah, we're doing skin meshes, but I wasn't really excited for it because I know, I mean, obviously it's super useful, but I think that when you start thinking about the skin mesh performance, that you'd probably only get a couple of these in the world. And after doing it, I was like, actually, this is pretty good. I just started placing them in the world and I'm like, hang on, performance isn't changing. And I just kept putting more and more and more. And I'm like, it's still good.
Yeah.
So super hyped for that. It just means, yeah, like we can do like mobs, and like if you wanted to create any kind of creatures that, you know, sit in your world and do things, then you can do that.
Or
And you can
even
have lots of them.
there are even cities like this is sharing. I think Bogey had shared here his generative city as well. So and it's wild that this was all like created from, and then he has different camera modes, it looks like. Yeah. And let me see, there was one where it's showing the active, like how in his Blender, let me see if that comes through. So in Blender, yeah, you can kind of see how that gets created.
Crazy. You just control where everything is.
Yeah. Which I think goes to the point about that you were making, that a lot of features that some people ask for are basically taking a 3D modeling engine and putting it inside of Hyperfy.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, just on the skin mesh stuff as well, is that it's not kind of limited to doing like characters like pets or mounts or anything like that. You could also use it. It's basically just bone animations. So you can get really crafty with that kind of stuff. You could do like any kind of animations. You basically just move bones around and weight the bones to certain parts of a mesh, or just completely separate parts of a mesh.
Yeah, and you could call them. And you could call them programmatically, right? Basically, just say, "Oh, I want this animation." You run that animation, right?
Yep. And it handles it all for you. You in a script. It's like I say, oh, you have to script, and it's really hard, but it's not. It's not hard. Like you can just write a thing that says play, and you enter the name of the thing. But we'll make this super easy. Like right now, it's just it's still very dev mode for skin meshes, but it's a step towards us kind of making it available for everyone. So yeah, I think, as I said last week, was like starting to focus more on creators, and the first kind of steps for that were the UI and the gizmo. And the new UI is kind of like gives you more control. I mean, up until now, nobody had the ability to change the grass and change the default avatar in their worlds. They were stuck with the hyperbot. But so now there's you can just open the menu and change those things. And starting to think about the things that we want to add next. I made a quick short list before I just entered this. Off the top of my mind, the things that I think people need the most from like a creator point of view is being able to drag and drop images, play videos in the world, voice chat as an option. That's going to be optional because it requires a service to do all of the streaming of audio. But there's one service called LiveKit, which you can do it quite cheap, like basically free. It's only when you start scaling that you would need to pay for that, but for the most part, it's free. There's just a couple like quality of life things that need to happen. So being able to jump on mobile, there's no jump button. I mean, it works and it's easy. You just need to put a button on there and it'll work. And then interaction in VR. So you can walk around in VR in worlds, but there's no way to interact with the actions that pop up. You know, the little E thing, E to hold down. So I'll add an interact button to that. And we already have jump and double jump as well in VR, which is fine. Yeah, so just those are a couple of things that off the top of my mind, I think like bring us more towards just being more ready for people to be able to jump in and build things. Whereas up until like maybe a week or two ago, it was very dev focused.
And as it relates to the jump and double jump, there was like a quick kind of note. I think it was the Matt Empire that had mentioned it about possibly bundling that into an app where somebody can control the environment itself. Is that a core code change that would have to be made to take double jump and turn that into like something that's configurable on and off?
So Peasy made an app that added the dash ability from the Vanguard from the PvP thing that we're building. And you can just drop that in your world and your characters all now have this dash ability. And I thought that was pretty interesting because it kind of makes it, it's just, I don't know, it's like, it's one of those things where apps aren't always visual. Some of them are just behavior. They add behavior to the world, which I think is neat. But yeah, I'm not sure. There's certain things that I think would need to be in the core, but a lot of it may not need to be and could just be apps. And then what we can do is basically have some kind of hooks that allow apps to do the things that they can't currently do, and then eventually it will just be apps all the way down, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has seen the videos from Sari doing the first person shooter game that he's doing.
I can share that. Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Let me see where that was. With Goku.
So he's already he does have a fork of Hyperfy that he's made a few changes to, just to like for expedience, I guess. But a lot of those changes have been requested to go back into core. So anything that's missing is there will kind of probably make its way into core in some way eventually. And but what he's done, he's using apps to replace all of the default animations. So when you're holding the gun, you actually you're actually holding and pointing the gun toward like forward, and when you run, you've got strafe and back pedal and stuff like that, which is in the default. And that all of those kinds of things can be done without modifying the core. It's just part of the app that does all of that. So you really do have like full control over that kind of stuff. For the most part, I think you could almost app the FPS controller as a separate single app. You drop in the world, and now you just have FPS controls. So yeah, it's cool. I think like the future of all this is that you have all these different modes of locomotion that you can just kind of install in your world by dropping in an app.
Yeah, and I'm looking for the Goku arena test. There it is.
Oh yeah.
And what I like is that he has the cartoon kind of color too, the toon outline.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think Fox made those. He has a baked and an unbaked version, but they're like super lightweight and, you know, a couple kilobytes for a whole level. You could build a whole level with it. Very cool.
Yeah, and then I'll drop a link here as well to that. And then talking about games and demos, there's also another one from Dapcraft And
Yeah.
did they tell you that they were going to build that out?
Yeah, I knew that was coming, and I'm currently holding back on like promoting it a bit until they upgrade to the latest versions. They can do a couple things like just like really easy improvements they can do to it.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I jumped into that world, the avatar was still the hyperbot for a couple of seconds, and the gates hadn't spawned, so I could just walk straight through them. I'm like, fix it, man, and then I'll like we can promote the hell out of this. But right now, if people jump in, they're kind of like cheating. They'll just walk straight to the NPC guy without opening any gates. But it's so good. Like they shared this with me early this week or maybe late last week, and I jumped in there and I'm like, oh, okay, so you guys have built like stealth behind the scenes, built the first full experience in Hyperfy V2, like a proper end to end game.
Yeah.
With all the stuff in it that it's needed. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. I
Is
jumped around, it
is
was
that
fun.
is that the Avatar station as well?
Yeah, I think yeah, they must be lurking in the Discord. They've like seen a couple of the apps pop up and modified them for their own things. It's really cool. They've got like all the UI and stuff when you jump in the before you can go in and out of the like the gates to go out into space and stuff. You have to clean yourself in a little like chamber thing, and you jump in the chamber, and the camera zooms out, and then the little bar fills up. It's like a proper game. Like they added all the pieces that are needed to do all that. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a small, simple little game, but you have to run around. You have to find all the things, unlock the gates. You can fall off and reset and all that. But yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of I love the stylized kind of aspect that they have. This kind of reminds me of that expense level you had built.
Oh yeah,
With jumping around. it was a super, funny way to like learn all the controls. But yeah, this avatar station thing is pretty neat. And yeah, the Dapcraft folks they definitely know how to make environments. I definitely appreciate what they've done.
yeah, I love it. It's so good. The environment looks amazing.
Yeah. And then if anybody would like to chat, I see Cheddar Kesso as well. I'll bring you up just so you could kind of let us know how the gizmo has been treating you. If anybody else wants to come up and talk, definitely let us know. And then yeah, I'll definitely for Gen Hyper, I'll make sure to talk or show some of the clips about the ROM that he's been kind of building out, the ROM concept, the little cartridges. But let me hit up the folks here on the speaker panel here. So Sanjoko, did you want to say any words, say anything? I know the marketplace is very, very close, and we're still collecting some feedback. Is there internal feedback? Is there anything you'd like to mention or talk about? No, we can.
No, nothing at the moment. I'm working on the last couple of features right now, and hopefully early next week we could hop on about it. Excited to get this live.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to what you guys got.
Does the marketplace have a versioning system where you can like upload a new version of the same app?
Yes, you could upload a new version of it. It doesn't mention like which version it has on it. I guess you could add that in the description. I could add a little label on that, but you can update it.
Does it say when it was last updated at?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because I think we have apps just strewn across the Discord. I reckon there's probably close to 1,000 of them now. Some of them might be like different versions, but there's just so many things going on. There's just apps flapping around the entire Discord. And we have the app channel, but it kind of, I noticed that when I needed to drop an update to the drone that flies around, that it's still likely people will still accidentally find the older ones and download those. And so, yeah, I think we just really need a place, and this could be a place to do that.
How are you imagining getting all those on there? Like, should we go through and like upload all one by one, and as people make accounts, then like give them access to their apps, or just wait for people to upload it themselves?
I think the key points there are that it just needs to be extremely easy for people to do it. It should be like, I go there. I'm assuming you have Wallet Connect. It's been a while since I've checked that out.
we're doing the magic link, just an email address.
Magic links. Sorry. Yeah, I would assume you just want it super simple, so people can just go in, they go there, they see the list of their apps they've uploaded, they can upload a new version and change stuff. I think that's basically what you have. But yeah, we don't have to go and like retroactively go back through 1,000 apps and put them all on there. It can just be a new place that we start putting them.
And so right now I'm just cleaning up the app creation and collection creation process. I got some feedback from other people, like how to make it a little bit easier to follow.
Yeah.
And as soon as I have that done, I just want to get the featured apps, like update, like which apps are going to feature for the launch, and then it's ready to go. The last 2 steps that I'm getting up right now.
Yeah, cool. I think something that might be super useful off the top of my mind, like how I would expect to want to use this, is people have their own preferences for the things that they want in a sea of a million of other things that are happening. And so being able to have like to star an app and quickly go to a list of those that you can drag, like it's literally just a grid of the things that you've starred that you could then drag straight into a world from there without needing to go to like a details screen.
Yeah, we already have that. I
cool.
called it favorites, and you can put like a little heart on an app, and then in your own dashboard, you can have like a list of that favorite that's already live.
Yeah, that's perfect, because it just becomes like this palette that you can quickly go to. Here's all your apps, and people, it incentivizes people to put all their things there, use the platform more, and
Yeah.
That's
I'm also
cool.
making like a quick share link for like apps and the collection pages that people just send each other.
Awesome. Very cool.
All right, appreciate the feedback and hopefully get this up ASAP.
Yep. So we're definitely going to have a Bob Ross palette that people can add apps to to sprinkle in world. And so, Dr. Doge, did you want to talk about your camera app and other things that you got running? I just realized that your camera app is super awesome, so I'm gonna play it here where
crazy.
you're showing it off.
Yeah, definitely. Hope everybody's been doing all right. Oh, it's I'm loving the new updates. By the way, Ash, I finally got to play around with the newest, so got it updated yesterday evening and stuff. And yeah, it's been a blast. Literally just getting some of this new stuff figured out. No, definitely, the camera system. So essentially, you remember a bit back, Shifty dropped the camera manager thing. It was like a camera manager test, and then the that he had dropped. Howie has taken that one, and you might have noticed it in the Play World as well. You could do like a /cam start, and it would start like the idle cam, right? Like a drone kind of flying around at the moment, just a little preset pass, however that was. I kind of took that one and essentially made it to where, as you can see now, if you click save or click through them as you go through, you'll oh wait, you still have that. That's kind of crazy. All right, so this is good to see that you're in here doing that. I guess it does save for each one. Oh, that's just a record. Oh, my bad. Okay, here, I can share my screen up real quick. I'm in here.
Yeah.
Because I've added some new stuff to it.
Yeah. I do like that number one camera spot is Popeyes. So
yeah. It's you'll also see here. Let's see, where's it? Fallout. Okay, screens. Okay, screen one. Perfect. Here we go. All right. It should be, here we go. We've the old one was having some issues, so we did bring back pretty much kind of the old tatted. There's some assets that's still in there, so still being revamped, but it's a lot more optimized, up to date, I guess you would say. But yeah, definitely. So this here, the camera switcher, essentially, no matter what camera you use in the world, even if it's this one here, for instance, I'll get to that in a second, the drone that you dropped, Ash, right? So long as it has a camera that's in there in a position that you're using, you can set that save position throughout it, wherever that's at in the world. So whether it's like this, whether it's here, I could go through, can use the actual drone if I wanted to. and set them.
Nice
But
app interoperability.
oh yeah, especially with this here, which I'm trying to combine them
What is
into
this?
the filter
Oh.
overlay. So it's basically if I go into, let me see
Oh my
here,
God.
you got a different like this here. And I'm working on, so you could even use this, I mean, not even for just filters, but let's say you wanted to do streaming, right? You're going in, you could make you pretty much drag in your OBS overlays, right? And just pop that into here and have that as your images. That would, essentially go through. You could have it where it's overlays off, and then it's just like your basic, kind of styles going into it, but however you want to, kind of like this one here. But another fun fact that I don't know, I wouldn't call it a bug. I wouldn't call it. This is probably more of a easy teleportation kind of cheat system here. I'll stand right here so you can get a good look at it. Let me see. If I go back to a couple, where's it at? Right here. All right, so you see me right there, right? Over in that little area. If I'm in one of these camera modes and I just want to sit down, no matter where I'm at, as long as the camera's looking at it and has that icon on it, you can teleport to that area. Yeah, so that's kind of you got something like right here and you just want to open and close doors, it's fine. Just open and close.
Yeah, the action thing is all based on camera distance. That's funny. Maybe it should be based on
that makes it
different.
smooth. Yeah, it's nice. Very nice. Also, this here you can kind of see, obviously, little particle system. You know how you were talking about it? I don't know if you've dropped anything. Maybe this wasn't in the notes, but whatever these last updates have brought really did a good number on the performance of how, I guess you would say, images, particle, anything like that works, right? In general, even if it's not the one you're talking about. I'll give you an example. You kind of see the little tornado thing.
I didn't intentionally try to improve that, but I think it happened on the back of the Octree update I did. So there was an issue where if you scaled something to 0, the Octree that powers all of the raycasting and has a huge performance hit, it wasn't working so great. And so I made some improvements to that, which means that the Octree doesn't zoom down into really small sizes, so it ends up being memory efficient. And yeah,
that's not bad at all. Because you'll see here in just a second. This was kind of unintentional. I had a cloud machine that I was using kind of to replace, essentially, how could you put it? Those up here, just having to use 3D models and kind of having to blend into those. And so now I've created this monstrosity, which is 150 of these images, stretch sized, spinning at 50. Yeah, it's
not a dropped frame.
A little bit every once in a while, but here, let me do stats up. It still holds a consistent 70, 75. Yeah, see up top.
Wandering tornadoes. Agent 12 says, "Can you make it a wandering tornado?
Oh,
can you make it
I can.
a PvE tornado?"
I could definitely do that. This is we talked about last night too. Like I said, it was spent the better part of the night with Amka and Howie and some of the gang, and he got back in and finally got it all updated and the new features, and it's been a pretty fun night to say the least. It's
So what is the camera system and the filters? How do you picture them working in I know that you've got this UI to change them all, but is that how you would expect people to use it, or is it just you as an admin thing, and that maybe other apps would call this app to say, hey, can you switch the filter, or hey, can you switch the camera?
Yes, no, absolutely. So when I first initially had it, setting it up, it was basically kind of like the slash commands, right? You'd be if you've got a position you want, you would just do /save, and then you could call on and see your list and click from there. Once I started kind of getting them to a little bit interact with each other, I was like, all right, the slash is getting a little bit, kind of after a while for everything, setting positions, trying that. So I just added these here, little for, I guess you'd say, testing purposes on the side. And then once it's all set and ready to go, I'll have a lot smoother, I guess, something you could just, splash cam or something like that, and it'll actually pop up with a full list of those features, whether you want it to be the overlays, your custom, a theme in that sense, or the actual camera drone, pulling that up, everything else. Because
I don't want
Last
to give
night-
you any ideas, but this is kind of like the beginning of a cutscene generator, where you could easily like expand upon this from fixed locations to recording like I don't know. So you could have it so that when you walk into a building,
It
that
automatically
it triggers
goes into
a cutscene where it changes the filter, and then the camera pans around the room, and then maybe flips to another camera, and you could have like a record button, and I don't know. There's like it could just go
a
so
lot of options.
many
Oh yeah.
different directions. Yeah,
And I'm liking that
everything's
you mentioned
there.
earlier. It is like, and that's what I've been kind of. It seems like the last week alone. I know a lot of people can kind of attest to that as well. It's some of these features all tying in. You know, we kind of everybody had their different apps and everything. You know, but like, what was the purpose of them? You know, kind of bringing them together. Everybody's got these awesome worlds, but then, you know, how do we make everything work? How do we make it to a proper, functioning environment as it should be with Hyperfy? And I like what you mentioned earlier about bringing it into the creator side, because that is kind of in that sense where I like to do this here, setting up the world actually for the filming, all that nature. And yeah, I think like you said, having images and videos too coming up, I think that's going to be a game changer, especially for stuff like this. But yeah, I wish Howie and them was here, man. I think they might be sleeping at the moment, but yeah, they got some crazy stuff to show too. Been yeah.
And then Agent 12 mentioned about your camera bug feature that could be for like a haunted house, where you can kind of be watching where people are going and then activate things and enable things.
Oh yeah, you're right. Trigger systems like that. It's, yeah, I'm gonna have some fun tonight. It's oh yeah. All right, this is another one. I'll give a little show. It's not exactly perfect, but I think you dropped something that may or may not work with the rigging on, not necessarily, I guess, maybe avatars, but I guess support for it. Because I'm first person, yeah, you can kind of see it doesn't, it just goes left and right. That's the one thing I've always had issues with, but yeah.
That's cool. I think at some point we'll add an option to hide the avatar. So if you're in first person, you don't really need to see the whole avatar.
That would come in handy, especially for that. But I think, yeah, that's about it, especially for, like I said, I hadn't really, the last couple of days up until last night, finally getting everything. So that was about the first few things I've had going on since then, just tinkering with.
Really cool. I think hiding the avatar would be useful for a lot of things. Like, for example, I want to make, or at least let people decide if they want to make that a prop hunt game. Where you walk up to any prop, like there's a bunch of props in the world, you walk up to them and just become like a barrel, and then your character gets hidden, and now you're a barrel and you can run around as a barrel. And like people have to run around and shoot them and find out which one's the prop and which one's an actual player. Little games like that.
That you mentioned this, okay, now that's here. I know, I guess now we have the support with the like skin mesh control and everything like this. Other GOBs, you'd mentioned it earlier. Is there any chance of possibly getting, I mean, maybe it would make that a little bit easier if you could take control of that item? There's like GOB items as avatars, as upload.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. You can almost do that. So we've got, you could have this like skinned mesh or static object that you just become. Because we already kind of had that with the like vehicles and stuff, where the camera now gets attached. Like the drone, for example, is like almost like a character that you become. It's just that you don't hide if you had the ability to hide the avatar, then you're basically turning into a drone. So yeah, you would be able to have anything as your avatar.
See, yeah, because I've been doing it the hard way here. Like it's been straight up taking random things and going to VRMs here. Let me see, and it works out, but yeah, be a lot easier. Let me see. Y'all see, I got it here somewhere.
Is it a Raptor VRM?
Even better, bro. Even better. Papa's.
Oh, nice.
Just now, yeah. Sometimes you like to just sit around and see who pops in the world.
I still think the avatars that people put cars in the VRMs so that you just like and running around.
Oh yeah, yeah. got a few of those too with the tank. That's how we had to do it the initial days, bro. I had it when the initial projectile system shift you made too. It was pretty fun just running around as the tank and just shooting out the arms. But excited to see that. The drone was a pretty good touch there. I think that was something a lot of people can find useful here these days. It's If you use it in some of the worlds with the idle system, like even if you don't have this yet, I'll drop this one here soon, but just the regular ones that rotates and stuff from Howie, you'll notice too that if you're flying around, it'll kind of coincide and take over, and then you can actually see your drone. It'll like fly in and you can see it in this, A lot of stuff is interoperable without even, in a sense, having to be, but that's about it. Let's turn this
Very
off.
cool. Valiant has his Raptors. Do you have an update on those that you want to share? Maybe I jumped into a world and had to play around with them like the other day, yesterday, or the day before. Very cool. But I invited you up.
That is sick.
That's funny. You're standing on them now. I think you made an update where you basically sit on them and it feels pretty good. They're all no stage. Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah. So you shared a link. You can check them out. But basically, you can run around now on them, and they're all server side generated. So there's kind of like, I think he's working on lag compensation and proper interpolation for those. But it's really cool.
Yeah, he has wrangling, raptor wrangling, and then raptor riding. And I think I saw a image that he posted, like of tours, raptor tours, which is pretty cool. Raptor tours,
Raptor wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
me,
for sure.
Me and Valiant were riding around on a Raptor, and when we got back from doing we did the whole thing, and you wouldn't believe how huge this world is. By the way, it took like 10 minutes to go around it. We got off our Raptors, and the Raptors just started attacking each other. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. He definitely wants to arm the Raptors, and it's we're with the skin meshes stuff. Definitely, I think we're gonna get more flexibility with the types of creatures that we're gonna be able to see.
Yeah.
And so we also have Cheddar Kesso here. If you want to kind of talk about your experience with the gizmo so far, any initial feedback?
Yo, what's going on? Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
All right. Gizmo is super. The only thing that was missing was like scaling, but other than that, I really like the keyboard. That was really good. I like that you can grab stuff and like fly off with it, like a completely different area, and just like drop it off. It's like number one, like top, like seriously. I've used the Decentraland like little placing tool, and I've used the Nifty Island like little placing tool, right? I've done the in-world building in both of those, and like by far that was much like more user friendly and easier. So that was really good. I put all my vibe houses down and like rotated them and placed them in line, like in a straight line, and it wasn't hard at all. And I didn't have like any grid or any guides or anything to go by. So like the snap was really good. I don't have any complaints at all.
There's probably some improvements that we could do around the grid. I think like in certain circumstances, it's hard to see where a mesh is in 3D space when you're trying to align it. Most of the time it seems fine, but I think there's a few cases where it's like, it'd be cool to be able to see some kind of a grid. And I think this is kind of an unsolved problem. I've seen a few different ways people have tried to do it. In Nifty Island, it brings up like a a 3D sort of slightly spherical grid where your cursor is, so that you can see where that object that you're moving is in relation to something that's close to it. Yeah, there's different ways to do it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that was great. And then the other thing that I did, like, you guys are so amazing, and I feel like a maggot amongst you, but I'm here to learn. So, and since this is like kind of a collaborative building space where we really want people to be able to like build without code and as easy as possible, right? Like the way that I was able to just go in there and put those little pipe houses down and like boom, 30 minutes, great, you got yourself something, put some trees and shazam. I think that right, like it's in the way of
The
like
vibe,
becoming.
right? I just want to quickly build something.
Like just to be kind of like a conduit, right? To like new builders and kind of pave the way for what other people are going to try to do. So I did the forking thing, and I'm so new that I'm still like learning how to work with GitHub and like do PRs and manage my repos and stuff. So I rely on AI to kind of tutor me and teach me how to do a lot of these things. But I realized that once I do something once, then like the instruction sort of gets lost in the chat conversation, right? And then when it comes time for me to do this shit again, I don't remember how to fucking do it, right? Because I only did it once before. So then I have to go digging back into like old conversations with Claude to see how the hell was it that he taught me how to do this, right? And so then what I started doing was building myself little guides. Like every time that Claude teaches me how to do something new, and I'm like, okay, cool, now I know how to do this. At the end of our conversation, what I'll do is I'll say, okay, now make a guide about this. Right? For future reference, when I forget again with my forgetful pothead ass how to do this shit, I can go back and read and I'll have like a little guide that I built for myself on how to do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did it with, like forking the Hyperfy repo, like the little guide that I created. And then I made it and I put it away in my little thing and I was like, wait a minute, shit, if I'm going to need this again, then somebody's going to need this. Like, somebody else is going to want the same answers to these questions. So I did the PR for that to put it in the hyperfy.how so that you guys can have that. And then, I can't believe it. I woke up this morning and somebody in the chat was asking the exact same damn question about how to do the GitHub stuff. So I was like, well, shit, that's like, that works out perfect. But in the future, like, I think that's a way that I can also help out, like.
We lost you. But yeah, I think this is definitely like a thing where Hyperfy tends to attract people who aren't developers because the people just want to create virtual worlds and stuff like that. But it just so happens that their interest becomes peaked. Oh, you're back.
Cheddar, we lost you for a minute there.
Yeah, sorry. It's I'm just arriving at the house, and I think my phone is switching over from the cell phone network to the house Wi-Fi.
Yep.
I was just saying that this is basically what happens is that you're not here to code. You're here to make like fun virtual worlds for basically any purpose that you want. But it just so happens that now that you have the ability to book the repo and like make any kind of changes that you need, that people start getting interested in programming. And now that we have AI, it's like, well, why not? Why not just start like learning these kinds of things? Especially since you're AI assisted, you feel like you can basically query them about anything that you want to do, and most of the time they can help you out. But yeah, it's crazy. Cool.
Yeah, very good approach as well with the summarizing. I think that's something with using AI that some people forget that they just use AI and then move on to what they were doing. But as Agent 12 says, it's really good to take a step back and tell the AI, hey, whatever we just did, package that up into something that I can remember or share or whatever. Super helpful type of strategy. So thanks for sharing on how you approach that. definitely appreciate you throwing in the PR, even if you're not completely comfortable. I think the community here is really good about supporting each other to get information shared. I'm sure Omka jumped on that once you shared this. I'm pretty sure he'll incorporate some of these. And generally, yeah, managing your branches can be interesting to deal with as you build. I even like how you got emojis in there. That's cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, and like, yeah, I just want help. So I'm trying to like ways that I can contribute because there's always ways that you can help no matter what experience level is. So I get out with other stuff. Like if there's other things that come out and you just want me to like jump in there, try it out, and then just build a little guide for it, then that's somewhere I can easily help. And I don't need to make money, and like I can take time, from school because it's not much, and and yeah, fucking just make some shit happen.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. But no, to Agent 12's, yeah, right. I'm not the only one. Everybody has audio issues, but yeah, I was going to mention that Agent 12 pointed out that this is something that Jin is very passionate about, and like you say, any contribution that you can make is helpful, and documentation is an area that is extremely necessary or needed. We definitely need as many volunteers as we can possibly get with documentation. And what I'll do is I'll post a link to, oh no, let me edit this link. There we go, AI Docs. So the AI Docs in that channel, Jin had posted kind of it's somewhat bounty, somewhat request, basically asking people, hey, go through and figure out how to make this more digestible, more accurate, the information that we have that's being shared, and then I'll post this up on the or share this as well. But basically, Jin on his side with Eliza OS group there, basically they've created a way to aggregate information, bring it all together, analyze it, and digest it for people. And so he put out a bounty in our AI Docs channel to see how we can incorporate this and use or kind of use this tool to support Hyperfy documentation and knowledge sharing. So very important points there that you brought up, Cheddar, and keep at it. We really appreciate that. I did want to take some time to give Fractilians a little bit of time, and then we'll pass it back to Ash to kind of tell us how we're looking for the next week, what types of things we might be expecting. But before that, I'll pass it to Fractilians to give us kind of what she was working on last week. So Fractilians, I'll let you go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, first off,
Yep, we
Cheddar,
can.
Hello.
I totally learned like how you do. I'm so stoked that it's not just me. I love what you're doing. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, cool. No,
Yeah,
just
we
making
hear
sure.
you.
That was very cool.
I thought maybe because like she was getting cut out, I would be getting cut out. Yeah, let me share my screen. I'm actually working on a little overview of everything from last week, but I'll give you guys a little breakdown. But can I share my screen? Yeah, I should be able to. Oh, where is it? Let's see.
The new Discord is weird.
Yeah, so last week I ran 3 workshops at the Hawaii STEM conference titled Collaborative Virtual World Building with AI and Hyperfy V2. And so I had about 20 plus students, teachers per workshop, and about 20 students per their workshops as well. And I use like Luma and Meshi and Hyperfy. And thanks to HP and all the amazing everyone in here helped me. HP donated 10 worlds that we used to build this out. And yeah, here's a little clip I'll just share. It's kind of cool. It's like the little intro so you can see the conference center. And then it's the conference center in Honolulu. So we had this whole giant floor, and they had breakout sessions from robotics to engineering, all sorts of amazing workshops going on at the same time. I was just one of the many people, but this is to give you an idea of the amount of people. I'll just play this. There's a lot of educators from across all of Hawaii, about 300 students, 200 teachers, and I've been working with them since about 2009 in Hawaii, like teaching all over the islands and stuff. And it was really cool to see. They actually brought 20 laptops, and I set them all up. And thank God to HP again, he helped me troubleshoot. I had some issues with being able to go into admin mode on Microsoft Edge. Did not like it, but yeah, it was really cool. The teachers and the response. I taught middle school and high school, and different basically all the STEM teachers and computer science teachers were in my workshops and that kind of stuff, and they all really loved it. Like, they had a blast, and I'm gonna actually continue to work with them to further build out some of the stuff I showed. I created a huge Notion doc that has everything on there, built out a world, and it was all kind of related to the STEM conference, looking at Hawaii environmental issues and stuff. So it was project based and also based on the curriculum stuff that they had. But it was also really cool because there was a lot of throughout the year they do all these game jams. I met teachers who were like sports coaches who all really loved it. And so yeah, it was really cool to see how everybody was interacting with Hyperfy, with all these tools and feedback. And I took a bunch of little clips. I'll make like a kind of overview video. I have some clips from teachers. I wish I'd gather more stuff, but I was so busy getting all the computers to work. And one of the hardships was they have a lot of regulation around student emails and what they can access. So that was fun trying to figure that out to get them to access things. Luckily, Hyperfy, we had no issues other than that Microsoft Edge. But yeah, a lot of the teachers want to continue building and playing with Hyperfy. They all loved it. But yeah,
it's good. Yeah, dealing with student email addresses and all that kind of stuff and logins and that, it's good that Hyperfy just doesn't even care about any of it. It's something you just don't need to think about. That's really cool. So you were basically teaching a lot around AI generated meshes and digital spaces and stuff like that.
Yep, totally. And I have what I did is I had the worlds that HP donated, and I built. I used stuff that I created in Meshi and Polypizza and that kind of thing, and kind of created the base thing. So they played with Meshi, with Luma, with Polypizza, and with Hyperfy, moving things around. And unfortunately, this was before all the updates to the gizmo, so the hardship was moving shit, but it was still fun because we only had like 50 minutes, but we were using V2. So it was all worlds that HP was awesome to help me.
Cool.
Yeah, and all that, everybody, all that stuff I had pre-logged everything ready. So when they got there, all they had to do was sit down, and I had logged into everything, even the other sites. Because after I had those email issues, I was like, okay. And the teachers were like, yeah, we have that issue all the time, and they have like such security when it comes to any cool tech stuff, and it's a pain point for them as well. But yeah, it was really, really cool, and yeah, they were receptive, and especially all the little gamer kids got it right away. When you say Roblox and Minecraft, they're like in it and just building shit. So it was really cool.
If you haven't already, I highly recommend looking up the Tripo SG space in Hugging Face, because I've used Meshi and what's the other one?
Oh,
can't remember. Meshi.
Luma, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes they take like 5 to 10 minutes just to get a single freaking mesh, and you have to prompt it with text most of the time.
Yep.
But with Tripo SG is like takes about 2 minutes maybe to get a fully textured, and it's really freaking high quality and good. It's so freaking it's ridiculous. Like I can't even go on about how much amazing it is now. Like
you have to link
the stuff that we have access to.
Yeah, I posted the link here in the chat. That's
just look at my my latest tweet. I posted a thread that went over how to use it.
Yes, that's the one I liked, and I'm gonna go dive into it. I've been wanting to like all day working. I'm like, I'm gonna go through everything you just listed there. That is wicked. Okay, awesome. I'm
It's
like,
so cool.
yeah,
The Blender aspect of that was only is only kind of like needed for if you're doing character things. But if you're just creating like 3D meshes for, like static objects, probably get away with just leaving it as is.
no, that's
Especially if you're just doing tutorials and stuff like that.
see, that would be so wicked. Like all the teachers were like, "Oh my god, this is what I've always wanted." Like seriously, most of them were like, "I want to use this right away. This is so great for elementary." Elementary teacher
Mm.
was like, "This is the shit. Like, this is so easy to understand." And the drag and drop part was like, yeah. So, but yeah, it was really cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Glad we were able to help. The community came together, the HP and
Oh yeah,
Sanjico as well.
everybody. I basically gave a huge shout out, Dr. Dojo, Kabugi, you, Maximus, Ash, of course, and everyone else who like. I'm like, where's this? Where's that? As I was trying to build these worlds, but poor HP took the brunt of it. I'm like, help! He was awesome. He's been amazing. So
Yeah, the trackpad. Hopefully get everybody mice to use instead of trackpads.
yeah, no, they all had mice. They brought me everything just to make it easier. But yeah,
Yeah.
like trying to make the flow as easy, and we only had 50 minutes per workshop, not much time at all, but like that's why I was like, okay, we're gonna jump in, and so that's what they did. I wanted them to get that hands-on, let's just start building, don't listen to me ramble, and let's have fun and build. And I would just walk around helping everybody. But ideally it would be fun to have like a week long. I used to do week long intensives with them. I'm like, because then you could build out really cool shit. I think it would be fun to have like cross island game jams and Hyperfy, like you could do all sorts of cool shit. And
all in one world where you just kind of like get given a section and you have to build it out and you can do whatever you want in it.
Yeah, that's what I did in the summer. We did a world build all in one world too, but it was just V1, so they didn't have access, but I brought all their stuff, and then they walked around talking about their process and what they built, and they loved it. They were all having a blast, just like flying everywhere, and like, so yeah. But thank you, everybody.
I think like them building a 3D space and then getting them to explore in a VR headset would be like mind blowing to them.
Totally. Oh, and actually, like a lot of the educators, there was a lot of VR presenters, and I had my headset, but I couldn't get it all set up in time. It was already 50 minutes is nothing. By the time they sit down, get through all the other stuff, and like, but I would love that. That part would be mind blowing. Yeah, one lady had developed a virtual Hawaiian navigation in VR and was showing me that. It was super cool. They had the whole ship, they had the whole star system, and talking about like Hawaiian culture and their ancient navigation systems. So all sorts of cool possibilities. So yeah.
Very, very nice. Yeah, the next time you have any game jams coordinating with them, let us know. I'm sure we could throw in and expedite features or apps or things that might be helpful for the theme.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm down to help however I can for stuff like that. Very cool.
Wicked, awesome, cool. Yeah, I'm making the little video of all this stuff, and then I'll just share it, and you guys, yeah, cool. Well, thank you. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. We didn't get time to talk about Devil's ROM apps that he's been making. My understanding is that these are kind of like environmental apps that can like define the environment and enable things in the environment. So we'll definitely next time. Hopefully, we can have him on and talk about the app. The ROM cartridges that he's kind of building, but very interesting concept about like having a control center and plugging cartridges into it to control a world and interactions there.
Yeah, it's like installing something into your world. It's pretty cool. Cool idea.
Yeah, very neat concept. It's like it's a representation of what is basically happening when you're dropping apps into the world. So Ash, before we drop off here, are there any last things that you want to call out to the community, have the community get involved in? Anything you'd like us to keep an eye out for or focus on?
Yeah, I mean, so just from a high level right now, as I mentioned earlier, the things that I want to start seeing. So I don't know. I think we've got a lot of things happening already, but one of the things that I want to see in the future is soon is like the images, videos, voice chat, jumping in mobile. Just the little things that I think we realized were like simple enough to add, but we just never got around to adding things like that. If there's any, if you're blocked, if you're a creator that isn't a developer and you have no freaking idea how to code, even AI assisted is just like mind-boggling to you. Reach out with anything that is a blocker, because like I want to start focusing more on making sure that those things are unblocked. And like at the same time, we're building out this PvP game, which a lot of people might not be interested in a PvP game, and I think I get that general consensus. But that has also been just by like sheer trying to build that has unlocked a lot of things that non-game builders are going to want, like skin meshes, for example. It also, weirdly enough, prompted me to spend a lot more time on the gizmo and stuff like that. So like I think it's just the practice of building out a full experience is kind of making me focus on what is actually missing, and all those little bits that we may have, just little things that we may have skipped over in the last couple of months that really need just to catch back up in the engine. So yeah, if you're a creator that doesn't code, maybe Blender or non-Blender artist, and you see anything that's super missing, like really needed, just shout out. Obviously, the platform still is being built and it's being pushed back. We're launching a game, then we'll probably switch back to focusing a little bit more on the platform, but we just want to make sure that it's good. that reminded me of a sound clip somebody got of me saying that. We just want to make sure it's really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you. So you heard it, folks. If you're unblocked, Pantless Ash will take care of you.
No, if you're blocked, let me know and I will try to unblock you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm a freaking, what's it called? A pop doll now.
Yeah. So Ash is our savior here for unblocking. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yep. Take care.
Later, gang.